It's amazing having you on board, Mike. Welcome to this meeting. This, by the way, is something brand new. So, this team joining tonight, they are the first to know about this. So, thank you very much for being with us and welcome. And this is the mic is for you. Thank you very much, Mike.
I love it. Well, thank you, Aurelio. I'm excited to be here. You've got a packed out Zoom. I love seeing the numbers just continue to go up. And you're right. I've been involved in network marketing for, I guess this is my 27th year. And I don't say that lightly just to put a number to it. It really is what Aurelio said, and that is, I have lots of opinions, just like Aurelio has opinions, just like every one of you watching has opinions. But when it comes to building a business, when it comes to building Immunotech, specifically direct sales, network marketing, having opinions so many times holds you back in building your business. So, what I like to do is focus on what I know 100% works, what's proven. It's just like our product, right? When you hand somebody a Munical and you say, try this, you know without a shadow of a doubt that 90 days from now, we've clinically proven that they glutathione levels could raise upwards of 35%. You know it, right? You know it as a matter of fact. And the business can be just as matter of fact as that is if you will approach it the right way. You see, I'm a big believer in duplication over everything. Duplication over education, duplication over activation, duplication over everything. Because most people, what I find in network marketing, they build their businesses around their personal effort. Leaders build their businesses around systems. So, have you ever thought, okay, the product's the same for everyone, the comp plan's the same for everyone, Aurelio's the same for everyone. The RSMs are the same for everyone, right? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to go to the top faster? I will argue that the ones that make it the fastest, and it doesn't mean that the fastest is the best, doesn't mean the fastest is the most stable. It means the fastest is they've got somewhere. There's got to be some meat along the way to really keep them there at the top. But the people that start from day one and go quickly to silver, to gold, to diamond, to executive diamond, to platinum, it's because they focus on systems around duplication. So if you are wherever you're at in your business right now with Immunotech and you want to go to that next level, I would encourage you listen to this today, because if your business is only growing when you personally work harder, you don't have a scalable business. You just got another job, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I know if you're on here today, you want your business to scale, you want it to grow, you want your income to grow. Because the thing you got to know, network marketing is not about you as an individual, it's about what can be duplicated by a lot of individuals. I heard network marketing defined one time as this: a large group of people doing a few simple things over a long period of time. So if you break that down, a large group of people, so if you're going to get a large group of people to do anything, you're going to have all kinds of walks of life. You're going to have doctors, moms, dads, business professionals, construction workers. You're going to have taxi drivers. You're going to have all walks of life. So if you're going to have a large group of people, you've got to make sure something is simple. And that's why it says doing a few, not many, not 10, right? But a few simple things over a long period of time. And when you look at that, some of the common denominators, the common themes of successful businesses is not that they're the hero of the business. right? The goal is not to be the hero of the business. The goal is to build something simple enough that thousands of ordinary people like me and you can duplicate, right? So I want you to like stop asking yourself, stop looking at your schedule saying, how can I do more? And start asking, how can what I'm doing be duplicated by someone else? There's a different mentality there, right? A salesperson can go out and say, how can I do more, right? How much more time can I put in this? How much more energy can I put in this? How much more effort can I do? But the business has to be duplicated by other people. So scalable thinking, it doesn't rely on charisma. It doesn't rely on you being a superstar. It doesn't rely on perfect conditions. It doesn't rely on anything other than the process is able to be repeated. So think about, I always try to think about something that's universal. And the restaurant McDonald's is universal. Now, I don't like their food. I haven't been there and I don't even know how long. I'm not saying that they're a great restaurant, but they are a great business, right? McDonald's did not become massive because they had the world's greatest chef. McDonald's, they sure did not become massive because they had the world's greatest cheeseburger, hamburger, right? They became massive because every burger is made the same. Every employee, usually teenagers, follow the same process. Every location duplicates the same system, right? When you walk into a McDonald's in Budapest or in Bradenton, where I live, halfway across the world, the French fryer is on the left. It's always on the left. It's on the left in every McDonald's in the world. Because now, when a kid can leave Bradenton, go to Budapest, walk into McDonald's, they're following the same process. He knows where the French fryer's at. He knows how to make the burger, right? It's a simple yet powerful example of how consistency and duplication can really lead to big businesses because most people think like consumers think, right? Which is how can I do more? And what you're not thinking about is that income in immunotech, it follows value, growth follows activity, right? You got to take action to have the growth, but wealth, to get to the top of the plan, that follows duplication. You can't get to the top by yourself. So if you know you can't get to the top except by yourself, then you better learn how to not only prospect and introduce someone to this great product and this great business, but what we want to spend our time on today is once they have joined, once they're in, now what? Now, I will tell you a few things, and if we've got slides, Aurelio, they can bring those up, and we can go to the building your business fast slide first, and we'll start talking through this. But what I want everybody to realize is that today I'm not talking about compensation plan strategy. Today I'm not doing a compensation plan training. Today I'm not doing a business building training. This is a duplication training for you to be able, once someone has joined, now what? Because what happens a lot of times in Immunotech and other direct sales companies is that someone joins and then it's like we put everything on them and they get super confused. And a confused mind does what? It does nothing. So, what we want to do is get someone into some simple activities even before their product shows up, even before their business kit shows up. We want a brand new person to build their business fast by giving them that definition, as I mentioned earlier, a few simple things to do over a long period of time with a large group of people. So, how do we do that? Well, we created a document and it's in different languages. It's in your back office, in your mobile app, and it's called Building Your Business Fast. So what this is simply a very easy to understand, page by page, step by step, getting started guide for a brand new person to know the big chunks of things that they need to do in the order they need to do it. And we simplified it down. I believe no matter where you're at in the world, you if you can show someone do this and then get this. So if you do this, you're going to get this, right? It's like one step and then I get something. One step and then I get something. If you can simplify our business that way, your business will explode. And let's go ahead and pull up the first slide just to kind of walk them through what this guide actually is. Now, building your business fast is a mentality. Now, one thing I will tell you, you'll see as we go through here that there's some bold claims in here. There's some time frames that some of you may see and go, "Oh my gosh, is that even possible?" Where this document came from, we created this because we saw a shift happening inside of Immunotech. We saw people that have been here 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. All of a sudden, their new people started growing faster because we started teaching and implementing some simple, practical things that they could do, and they're duplicating much quicker. It's like, well, let me ask you this. Do you need to know all of the studies of this product before you tell somebody about it? Of course not, right? We have videos. We have Dr. Gutman's YouTube channel. We have many, many tools that you can send someone some information and you don't have to understand a thing. But you need to know, what do you need to do when you get started in the business. So what this document is, if you take the time to read it and understand it and run with it, you've got your hands on what you already know is the most researched product in network marketing. 80 patents, 92 published studies. You've got a company that's 30 years in business that is still virtually unheard of in Europe, right? Think about it. Even in Spain, our largest market, Immunotech is still virtually unheard of. I mean, I talked to someone the other day in my town. I talked to someone the other day in a new country in Europe, and someone the other day in a country that had been, I think it was either Mexico or Colombia. And it was funny because they said they're talking to people every day that have never heard of Immunotech. So you have this perfect scenario to where established company, stable company, 30-year-old company, all the science to back up the product claims, and virtually nobody's heard about it. But yet we've paid out over 90 people that have became millionaires because of this business. We have over 6,000 people who have earned a five-figure income. What's a five-figure income? That's 10,000 or more, right? You think about, I heard the statistic Mauricio shared the other day. I believe this is accurate. He said we have over 10,000 people on auto ship, on subscription for Immunical for over 20 years. So you take all of these things and you put them in a pile: stability, science, sexiness, that equals perfect timing. So if people will realize what they have their hands on and then just take simple steps, amazing things start to happen. Let's go to the next slide. So as we walk you through, some of the things that we want a brand new person to do are very strategic. They're very strategic for us as a company. They're very strategic for you because remember, your job is to help guide them. Your job is not to do things for them. So, what we want to do is make sure that we can communicate with a brand new person very, very quickly. That way, there's no guesswork required. So, first thing we tell them to do is download the mobile app, right? Download the mobile app where they'll have training resources, business tracking. Now they're empowered. Now they know I'm brand new. I've got the mobile app. Now I'm empowered. Now I can run my business. Second thing we ask them to do, and this is so simple, but yet it's one of the most powerful things, and that is check their email. When they get an email from Immunotech, it comes, if you see on the screen, from media@immunotech.com. If they will simply hit reply and type in yes or thank you, nobody's going to answer them. Nobody's even going to read it. But the systems now are talking, right? So the Immunotech email system and their email system, they know now this person wants to hear from this company. It's like on social media. I always joke, somebody's always listening, right? So I use this as an example. I got this really cool pin in Switzerland. Thank you, everybody, for this. I use it. It's got my name engraved on it. It is fantastic. And I talk about pins from Switzerland, pins from Switzerland, pins from Switzerland. Well, next thing you know, I'm going to open up my Instagram and there's going to be like two or three ads from pen companies in Switzerland trying to sell me a pen, right? Because somebody's listening. There's now a connection from me to this device, and this device knows I'm interested in pens from Switzerland. So they're going to start showing me that content more often. Same thing, same concept happens when you reply to an Immunotech email. You don't just do it once. Teach people when you get an Immunotech email, just reply, thanks, yes. Again, nobody's going to read it, but what it's going to do, it's going to show the systems that the algorithm is working. People are connected more. Let's go to the next slide. And when you do that, it now allows the company that we can push out information just like this Zoom today. I mean, we've got, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on this Zoom. How do we do that? Well, we posted, we emailed, we let people know. So if the new people, one of the first things they do is download the app, we can communicate with them. Reply to the email, we can communicate with them. And then one of the first things we want to do, and I know this is different in some. Sorry, Mauricio just started calling me right in the middle of this. But some things are are very universal when it comes to this business. And what auto ship is, subscription is check insurance. So if you want to earn a commission, if you want to make money in Immunotech, you have to be qualified. That business can come from your customers, it could come from your personal purchases. But what we want to make sure we do more than anything, even more than commissions, is we want people to receive the benefits of this product month after month after month after month, after year after year after year. So the fastest thing we can do is get someone on a very simple product subscription, right? Because if they're on a subscription, they're going to get it every month, they're going to be more consistent, and your business will be much more stable. Let's go to the next slide. As we move through here, now we're getting into some very specific things. Your first 72 hours. I'm a big believer, and I will tell you that your first 72 hours are very important. And many times you're receiving your product during that time. And I don't know if you're like me, those of you that are on here, has anybody ever mixed up your Immunocal and made it wrong? Right? I did it the very beginning. I filled up this entire glass with room temperature water. That was my first experience. And then I put just the blue Immunical in. And when I tried to shake it up, it's like exploding all over the place. It was foamy and it was crazy, right? I don't know if you've ever done it, but I sure did that. Brand new people will do that too. If if you don't show them how to make the perfect body shot the first time. So, this QR code right here, they can scan it, it'll bring up a link, and it has a video on how to make the perfect body shot. Now, I'm going to recommend that you have this printed out, what you're seeing on the screen. I'm going to recommend they have it printed. I'm going to recommend if they're local, go sit down at a coffee shop with them, go to their home, have them come to your home, go out to lunch, walk a brand new person through this document, scan that, mix it up with them, show them put in just this much cold liquid, show them how to put in the booster, show them how to put in the immunical. Show them that if you just swirl it a little bit first and then you shake it, it seems to mix up really good. And then all of a sudden, they're going to have this perfect mix the first time. And if you'll do that for them, again, thinking duplication, the odds of them repeating that with their new team members are much higher. And that's what you got to do. You got to play the odds. So if you stack the odds in your favor, right, you are more likely to win. It's like we did an event in Montreux, Switzerland, and we did the event at a beautiful room overlooking the Lake Geneva, I believe it was, and it was in a casino, was where we were at. Well, what do you hear about casinos all the time, right? They say casinos, the odds are in the casino's favor, not the gambler's favor, right? The casino knows the odds and they know how much they can pay out because they know how much they're going to bring in. The odds are in the casino's favor. You've got to play the odds. They're in your favor if you will give people the time to walk through the simplest things. Hey, reply to your email. Hey, here's how you mix the perfect thing. And then we go down to some simple steps. Hey, let's set some goals. Why did you join Immunotech other than some amazing product? What would you like to do with the commissions that you may earn by sharing this with someone else? Write down those goals. And I would encourage you, take a copy of those goals of people that you enroll and know them, right? You think about this. If I use Aurelio, if Aurelio's my new consultant and I find out that Aurelio wants a new car, right? He wants to be able to purchase a new car because of this business. And all of a sudden, Aurelio gets started, things are going good, but then something happens. Something in his life happens. Maybe he gets distracted. Maybe somebody doesn't get the results on the product that he wanted. Maybe he misses out on a Anyway, people get distracted. People get devastated for the littlest things, right? Well, if Aurelio has written down some goals and I know what they are, and Aurelio stops plugging into some Zooms, he stops showing up to some events, I can call up Aurelio. I can FaceTime Aurelio. I can WhatsApp Aurelio and I can say, hey, do you really want that new car? Because if you do, let's not worry about this. Let's shake those things off. Let's get back refocused. Let's go out and let's have an immunobar. Let's share the product with someone. Let's get on the phone with somebody. But if I don't know his goals, I have no leverage over him to have a conversation about getting back started, right? Another thing is define those daily actions that they need to do, right? What do they need to do? They need to understand what they're doing on a daily basis. Organizing your office is not building your business. Sampling, presenting. 99% of your day when it comes to Immunotech needs to be sharing the product and sharing the presentation. It doesn't need to be on education. It doesn't need to be on compensation. It doesn't need to be on any of that. Because if you will get a large enough group of people getting into the business, and then a big group, a big percentage of that duplicates in the business, you just have to repeat those few things. You don't have to go too deep. Those that want to go deep can. We have that, right? That's the great part about having science. That's a great part about having education. That's a great part about having 30-year track record. We've got it. It doesn't mean you lead with it. It doesn't mean that you need to use it because let's face it, every person is different, right? My background is not in health. It's not in being a doctor. It's not being medical, right? So if someone starts overwhelming me with information, that may not be ready for me. But if I'm setting some goals, I know what my daily actions are, and then we say meet with your mate. Having an accountability partner is huge for your business. So these are just a few simple things that people can see. I can have success by just doing a few simple things. I need to set some goals. I need to have some daily actions for sharing the product, sharing the business, and I need to have that accountability partner, meeting with my mate. And that accountability partner is not there as a crutch. It's not there as someone to do the work and just motivate you. It's there to help you be accountable when you have a bad day. I used to use an analogy that said if you've had a great week, the meeting, like if you go to a presentation with other people, it needs you. It needs your energy, it needs your excitement, it needs your positivity. But you flip that and you say, if you've not had a good week, you need the meeting. You need to be around the other people. You need to be in that environment to get your business back on the right track. So let's go to the next slide. And now we're getting into a few more specific things. And this I'm not going to take too long on, but I'm a huge believer in it. I wear our brand everywhere I go. You see, I've got an Immunotech t-shirt on right now. I've got like 10 hats right here next to me. I've got the logo right here on my cup. Everywhere you go, if you will make it an a priority and be predictable with it. So when people see you, they expect to see this name or even just the logo. If you will just even have the logo on something, that will become you will become predictable. And in business, predictability is super important. Duplication happens when things can be predictable. It's like I don't know if you may or may not know this. If you've ever stayed at like a Ritz-Carlton hotel, very nice property. It doesn't matter if you stay at one in Paris or if you stay in one in the Bahamas or if you stay in one in Japan, it's predictable. The service level is predictable, very high. The food is very high, right? The cost is also very high, but it's predictable. You know what to expect when you walk into a Ritz-Carlton, no matter where it's at. And you can have those expectations met in virtually every scenario because it's predictable. So I say, don't sleep on the swag. This right here, it gives a brand new person a one-time $15 off, $15 credit for apparel. Get a t-shirt, get a sweatshirt, get something, get a hat, get something with the logo on it. Maybe you buy two, maybe you buy three. I have, unlimited. I made sure I just bought a bunch of them because everywhere I wanted to go, I wanted people to see that logo. I wanted to become predictable. And it's like your business card of today. I don't even carry business cards anymore. I just wear the apparel and people say, "What is Immunotech? What is that logo? What is Explora? What is La Vida?" Right? Different hats that I have. And now what is that? That's called an opening. It's an opening for a conversation. So don't sleep on the swag. And then start making a list. Now I know some of you that build on social media, you say you're like, what do you mean make a list? My friends are my list. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I've got all that. Absolutely, that's part of your list. But what you'll find is if you'll think outside the box and you'll just write down a few people who may need to use this product, write down a few people, consultant leads on that may be interested in the business, then write down a few other people that may not sure where they fit, but you're writing the names down. Here's the great part, what this does. This is a little bit psychology of a brand new person. If they will commit to paper or typing in a notepad names of people that they want to contact, again, playing the odds in your favor, the odds of them contacting them go way up. If they leave this page blank, the odds of them contacting people go down. It's just the way it is. I don't like it. I wish it wasn't that way. But sometimes when you realize, hey, this is just the way it is, go with the flow. Put the odds in your favor. Let's go to the next slide. Now, we go in here. This page, I'm gonna skip over just because the video that we're talking about here, we have different videos. Right now, this is a QR code, and this video is not yet released. We're doing a few different versions of video, but this is going to be a video that once someone has heard about Immunotech, maybe you've talked to them about it, and they're like, "Can you just explain a little bit more?" Sometimes you explaining a little bit more gets a little complex for both of you, right? Our goal is for the video is for you to be able just to send them a link and they can hear, about the product, about the business. Again, just enough, just a little bit about the concept of what we're doing. And that's what this video will be. Let's go to the next slide. So this one has became very interesting to me. Now, those of you that are part of Immunotech and you've been here a while and you've heard a little bit about my story. So I came from a company, my last company, I was there for over 10 years. I was the head of that company. We did over 5 billion euros in sales. It was a big, big company. We had a lot of success. And a big part of that, majority of that, was created with products that people could visually see a difference, right? So, weight loss products or skin tightening products, things that when you saw a picture and then you saw a picture after I took the product or used the product, all of a sudden I could visibly see the results. What I'm blown away with is that at Immunotech, we have those type of results. It doesn't mean that it's weight loss. I'll give you an example. I asked some people to show some of their before and afters, but like, when you look at glutathione levels low and glutathione levels high, right? Look at the difference in her skin. That's very visual, right? When you think about this lady right here, look at her skin, how her skin has changed because of Immunical. There's others that I just get blown away with. And I'm going to pull this up. This one I think is so freaking cool. Look at this lady's inflammation. Look at her face change because her glutathione levels went up, right? You look on one side, she is very puffy and inflamed, and then all of a sudden, her face is a lot skinnier, right? It's a visual experience. We know that the glutathione levels are going up, but sometimes that's hard for a brand new person to understand. So if we can get you as a brand new person, if you've not done this yet, I recommend that you do it regardless. I recommend you take a before picture. If you've not done this and you've been here years and years and years, still do this step. Just you can take it with a selfie. You can have someone take it. I recommend you get your face. I recommend that there's no filters on it. I recommend you do your whole body and then turn to the side and get a side angle, get a back angle, because you never know what could be impacted by our amazing products. And when you do that, then I want you to repeat that maybe a week from now, maybe 2 weeks from now, a month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and then look side by side what can happen when you put this amazing product in here. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. When I look at some of these before and afters, it blows my mind. I mean, just the skin tone is extraordinary. The inflammation that is just erased off people. Take your before pictures. Your story becomes a superpower. And if you can show someone visually some impacts, now we're going to make a lot of these before and after pictures available for anybody to be able to use. But when you get your own, now it's more personal. Let's go to the next slide. So here we get into, I call it the beginning of the end of this presentation. This presentation up to this point has been practical steps of what you need to do to build the business. But now we need to show someone do this, get this. And what we've found, and this is real important, especially for those of you that are analytical, those of you that are very educated minded, you need to understand that the next few slides that I'm going to go through, don't look at it as a compensation plan training. Because I can tell you some of the images that I'm going to show you do not line up perfectly with our compensation plan. But again, what we found as a company is that we're tracking what's really happening in the field. Not what we think's happening, not what we hope is happening, what is actually happening. And what we found is that in the last year, year and a half, a much bigger percentage of people that are joining as new consultants are becoming silver in their first week compared to 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It was taking people a month, 2 months to go silver. Now they're doing it so fast. So when we saw that, we started mentioning that. We started telling people, hey, you can go silver in 7 days. How do you do it? Me plus three. Me plus one, two, three consultants. They get started just the way I do. You're silver in 7 days. You make a $400 accelerated bonus when you requalify. You just enroll three people on the same pack that you do. Me plus three. And when we started repeating that in Latin America, in Europe, in North America, in Mexico, in Canada, all over the world, all of a sudden that percentage of new people becoming silver continued to increase. So, one of the first things we need, there's a statistic, and this is for the entire direct sales industry around the world. They say that the average person doesn't even recruit one person, right, into the business. And what we're seeing is that it's becoming normalized to bring in three people in your first week. So we need to let people know, hey, it's easy. Silver in 7 days, that's your goal. When you do this, when you enroll three people on the same pact you did, you're going to get a 400 euro bonus. And then that is the foundation. This image that you're seeing right here, this silver image, me plus three, that is the cornerstone of this entire compensation plan. Now, let me share this with you. I find this intriguing. I mentioned previous business. For 10 years, I was the head of that company. For the first 8 years of the 10, I never gave a compensation plan presentation. I never pulled out the document. I never did a training. The company, when I say I'm talking about as a company, we never did it because we found a sweet spot. We found within that compensation plan, when you looked at all the ranks and how you get to the top and all the ways to maximize, we found that if we could duplicate a very small activity over and over and over and over and over and over, we didn't have to teach anything else because that small activity duplicated built the entire compensation plan. Silver in 7 days, the silver structure that you're seeing here, that is the sweet spot. That is the common denominator. That is the duplicatable factor in our compensation plan. And if you will just get so good at explaining me plus three, I get three people started on the same pack that I did, I go silver, right? Well, what do I do once I do that? Go build other silvers. Do it again. Do it again. Do it. Help other people do it, right? If you will have the mentality that you are this silver factory, this silver machine, and all you're focused on is one, one, two, three, one, one, two, three, one, one, two, three. If you will repeat that, the duplication will take over, and all of a sudden, everybody on your team, they're not going to worry about what generation am I making? What's this extra bonus that I'm getting? They're not even going to have to think about it. It's not even part of their normal life, right? Compensation plans and network marketing, they're not normal, right? That's not how the real world works. We have these compensation plans that are extraordinary, but most people are used to going to work, getting paid for their work, going home. If we can show them a simple action like this silver structure, they can duplicate that so fast. You implement this into your business, I guarantee you, by the end of July, you will have more people going to La Vida, more people earning our incentive trip than you even thought was possible if you'll spend every 7 days just repeating this process in the month of June and the month of July, your business will go through the roof. So just do this and get this. Do this structure, get a $400 bonus. That's all I need to see. That's a real number. 400 euros, like they can quantify that. And that's significant for getting three people started. Obviously, they're going to earn a little more than that. That's just one piece. But again, our job is not to explain everything to them. It's to convince them that it's possible to go silver in 7 days and then to get them into action doing those daily activities to do it. And then let's go to the next slide. Then it's just a matter of duplicating silvers. So I talked to a Canadian gentleman who's been in the business for almost 30 years, maybe 29 years. And he told me something when I first joined the business. He said, Mike, if you can figure out why people are taking so long to get to gold and fix that, he said, we'll grow so much faster. And I said, well, why are they taking so long to get to gold? And he said, I don't know the reason, but what I do know is, he said, 28 years ago when we launched this company, people were gold their first month. And I thought, yeah, that's the way it should be. I mean, gold is not a massive amount of sales in an organization. When you break it down, like the organization sales, I'm not here to give you a comp plan presentation, but just to show you, you see 30,000 points, right? But that's only about 8,500 in euro team sales. So like actual money changing hands is like around 8,500 euros. So it's not a massive feat, but it's also not easy. So, how do I get there? Well, we just came from silver in 7 days. So now they know the structure of silver. What do I do after I build silver? You build more silvers. So now all we're doing is showing them the same structure and that build out four silvers. One of those silvers could be under one of the other silvers. And you may be thinking, wait, that doesn't line up with the comp plan. Remember what I said earlier. This doesn't have to line up with the comp plan because here's what the numbers tell us. Here's the facts of Immunotech. When we look all across all the markets, all across Europe, all across Mexico, Latin America, US, Canada, if someone has four silvers, even if one of those silvers is below somebody else, like 97% of those people are gold or higher. So think about that. I didn't need to go on the comp plan. I don't need to show you perfect structure. I don't got to go over all kinds of different technicalities. All I got to do is tell you, you just went silver, help four people do that same thing. Now you're gold and you make €1,000 bonus plus much, much more. Right? So now they can repeat that, right? They can say me plus three, I can go silver. Me plus three silvers and one of those silvers gets a silver. Like I can repeat that. I understand four silvers equals gold. Now I can teach that. So when you look at this diagram, do not get caught up and think it has to be this perfect structure. It doesn't have to be three silvers front line and then one silver front line to them. It's just simply saying, as you got your three legs started, because you need your three legs started to go silver, right? Somewhere in this leg over here, have a silver. Somewhere in this middle leg, have a silver. Somewhere in this leg, have a silver. And somewhere underneath one of those, have another silver. If you'll do that, like 97%, the real odds are saying 97% of people who have that are, are gold or higher in the business. So you don't need to get complicated with the comp plan. If you go to the next slide, you'll see that we duplicate the same concept for diamond. Again, Diamond, you may say, wait a second, I've got to have four venture legs. This only shows three. You're missing the point if that's where your mindset's at. Again, when we look at the numbers, when we look at someone who has an organization, three main legs that have a gold somewhere in those legs, and then a second gold in one of those legs, like 90 plus percent. And I think we'd all agree that's a big number. It's a big percentage. That's the overwhelming majority. If they have this structure of four golds, they're diamond or higher. Now, is there an off chance that doesn't happen perfectly? Sure, there's a 10% chance, but I'll take 90%. I'll take 97%. And I'll work with that because I know that duplicates faster. If I try to go and focus on that 10% of what if, that doesn't duplicate. That's when you start going down the rabbit holes. That's when you start educating too much. That's when you start explaining too much and confusing people. Show them the silver diagram, me plus three, then build four silvers, you're gold. Build four golds, you're diamond. And you get a 5,000 accelerated euro bonus. Right? When you simplify the comp plan like this, you now have them. Notice you see 90 days. They have now psychologically the ability to go, okay, if this is the system, if this is what people are talking about, if this is what the company has in writing, it must be true. And it is. So, number one, it's true. Number two, it's possible. Number three, other people are already doing it. Now they just got to go and put the work in. And part of that work, let's go to the next slide, is customers. I want to tell each and of you one thing that could make the biggest impact of your business if you'll teach this. In some markets, actual customers are not that prevalent. They're not that pushed. I will tell you that if you build your business entirely on consultants, that's okay. But if you will teach every consultant, just teach them this. Not everyone will do it, but if you will teach them, hey, we want you to have 10 customers on your team on the booster pack or the equivalent, personal enrolled. Do you realize that all of a sudden that generation one goes from like this size to like this size? Because you're not only getting paid on that generation of the individual consultant, you're getting paid on those customers. So customer volume is massive, massive for increasing your generational pay. And it helps a brand new person get a quick win, right? 10 customers on the booster pack or the equivalent, it's about 500 euros each month in income just with our customer bonus, not even recruiting other consultants. And there's a lot of people on TikTok. There's a lot of people on Instagram, on Facebook, using social media that, maybe they won't recruit customers or consultants, but they will recruit customers. This shows them that they can create a full-time or part-time income just referring customers. And if you will talk to each consultant and push them to do the same thing, just work towards 10, your check personally will go way through the roof just for adding in this slide in your conversations with your brand new people. Somebody wants to go out and get 50 customers, that's 2,500 euros a month. 200 customers is over 10,000 euros a month. So, like, all of a sudden, someone can say, I don't even have to have one consultant and I can make 10,000 euros a month by 200 customers. Absolutely. So, how do you do that? Well, it's just a matter of volume, just a matter of time. How fast can you get them? So now somebody has a plan that they can go implement. The last thing, let's go to the last slide, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is the what I would call the only complex part of this document, and I put this here specifically for those who absolutely 100% need to see the whole compensation plan in one spot. And It definitely takes some explaining as people are walking through this. I'm just going to hit some high level for you. This is not something that I would walk every single person through. This is not something that I would encourage you to try to memorize or learn or use it as a presentation. This is kind of reference, right? So if I need to go back and see, okay, what's PV mean again? What do I get paid on CV? Like this is just a nice little snapshot. What's instant commissions? Oh, that's when I sell a product to a customer, minus my price, I get the difference, right? I get paid the difference. Well, what's that customer bonus? Oh, when you make 10 or 20% in Europe and different markets, it's different. The business builder bonus, I'm making 5, 10, or 20%, right? So I can just reference things. And then the team commissions diagram over here just shows you the average household income at each rank in euros. It shows them the accelerated moving up bonus and the moving up bonus. It shows them that we pay out a whopping 47% of CV. That doesn't mean anything to some of you, but to someone that's a networker that's been involved before, they will see that and say, that's huge because most companies will never do that. And then we show at the very bottom below each rank, you see, it's very small to see on this screen, but you'll see percent generations unlocked. And it shows you, 5, 10, 7, 7, 7, 7, 2, 2. So you see that's Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it has all of our compensation simplified to one page if you need that. If they don't need that, which 90% of people do not ever need to go to this page, they just need to see silver and silver repeated, gold and gold repeated, diamond and diamond repeated. How do I get the diamond? I need to go build silver first. Then I need to help 4 silvers so I know how to go gold. Then I need to help 4 golds. Then I go diamond, right? And it just becomes this repetition that other people can do. And I believe looking at the growth in Europe of what's happening right now, I'm blown away by people really getting excited about the duplication factor because listen, the product's the same for everyone. The comp plan's the same for everyone. What matters is how you approach your business on a daily basis yourself and what can be duplicated. So Aurelio, I hope that's helped the team. I know it's a lot of information, and I don't want everybody to get overwhelmed thinking you had to remember everything. That's the great part about having this document is that you can refer back to it. You can go back to it and ask questions. You can send WhatsApps and say, can you clarify this? But it really is designed just to walk people through a few step-by-step things that they can do to have success in this business.
Thanks, Mike. It's been very helpful, absolutely. And a good thing, that we have people from everywhere in Europe: Hungary, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, Sweden, Norway, well, Germany, France, Switzerland. And the good thing is that we already have some consultants who, without knowing we were presenting this, they are already working this way. And
That's
they have
great.
achieved the silver rank in the first week, gold in the first month, and diamond in the third one. So they are already working that way and being really, really successful.
That's fantastic. It's all about the duplication, and I'm seeing a lot of that happening in Europe, and I can't wait to see more implement this. And as the year goes by, just amazing things are going to happen.
Yeah, of course. So, Mike, thank you very much. It's been an amazing presentation, and thank you very much for joining us to help and support Europe to really to reach. Well, we still don't know our limits, and only thing is keeping moving forward to maybe sometime we will know which the limit what the limits are. So fantastic,
Absolutely.
Mike.
You know what's great? I'll leave you guys with this. Today's June 1st. It's kind of exciting to kick off the month with this information because the first 15 days of June, if your goal doesn't mean you're going to hit your goal, right? Goals are meant to be set and goals are meant to be hit, but there's some goals that need to just stretch you. The whole idea of goals sometimes is just a push. And the first 15 days of this month and every month, Your goal should be to recreate what you did the entire last month. So the first 15 days of June, requalify your rank, put in the customers, make sure everything is taken care of on what you did the entire month of May. Is that hard? For some of you, it will be. For some of you, it won't. I can tell you, if you want to get there quicker, go out and build a silver yourself. You say, Mike, I'm executive diamond. Go out and recruit 3 people and then teach them this system because you'll be amazed. I don't care if you're executive diamond, diamond, platinum, senior platinum. You go out and recruit 3 new people, get them started on this system. You'll have 3 new thriving legs that will pay you so much more generational pay that you're making right now. You will thank me and Aurelio every single day for the rest of your life. So thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.